wonderful players in Mickey Kraus and Ko Ping Chung. Ko, of course, in 9 days' time will be defending his US Open crown. But do not
Johann
write
Chua
off
wins
Kraus,
the
even though Ko has to be regarded as the favourite there.
Yeah, but hard to say big favourite anymore, the way Mickey Kraus has been playing. And I mentioned in the opener that even if he doesn't make it off points,
Johann Chua to break.
It's going to make a captain think about those teams. Little on the lighter side than we've been seeing here today on the main table. Maybe caught it just a hair heavy. No, it was pretty good actually. But the last match, both players were really on point with the one on the side, that being Skyler and Federer.
Yeah, I must say, I had tremendous sympathy for Fedor Korsch. 9-5 up. His opponent in a really horrible hook, snooker, whatever you like to call it. And then suddenly everything turned against him.
Yeah, well, you might be the only person in the building that feels bad for Fedor Korsch at the moment, but we completely understand it is a brutal way to lose a match. And I said it that he didn't really do much wrong. What an opener to get snookered behind the brown 7, planted on the rail. But yeah, sometimes you got to take it away, and at the moment when you're playing Fedor Korsch, that's certainly the case.
Yeah, and conversely, I was really pleased for Skyler. What a terrific performance that was. And if he can win this tournament, he'd do himself fantastic wildcard favours in terms of the Mosconi Cup.
Yeah, it's just amazing how sports are, right? It's always some drama, especially a 9-ball pool. But Tyler Starr, unfortunately, couldn't make this event. Was in Europe planning to make it, had to go home. He's had won 2 smaller events, ranking events in America, the last 2 actually. Got himself in the top 3. Now Skyler making a run, and SVB still in it also. Okay, is this going to slide too much? No, it's going to be really perfect.
Yeah, so many subplots, backstories. But now the only narrative that matters, will Chua or Alnar make it in the last 4?
One thing about Chua is he really has one of the highest gears in the game, and he showed us that at the World Cup last year. And always talk about, you know, the players that can play close to that gear and aren't afraid to pull the trigger trying to get to that situation in their game. And I think the more he plays out here, the more he's going to have some of those feelings, and he's going to be just one of those players like a Kachi, Phil, or SVB that can really just dominate.
Played with fire a little there, catching the 8-ball. Caught it thin, just grazed it, so there was no issue. A little thicker contact, the scratch to middle might have been a possibility.
Yeah, and I tell you what happens with Chua, he's really a player that more of a stroker of the ball, and starts out the beginning of the match with the timing maybe a hair off, but usually settles in. Probably a hair flatter on this 7 than he really wanted, but he'll try and stun with a hair right English, maybe
Extension called
on the half diamond there, right before the right middle. Oh, this is going to get on top of it. Yeah, and what happens is when the timing's off a little bit, Phil, you miss your tip position a little bit. Tip hit a little high there. So now a big shot in game number 1.
tried to coax the 8-ball in super thin with lots of side, but it didn't work. Alnar, as he was so many times
Extension
this afternoon,
called.
reprieved.
And talk about a thin one from distance. And when you're close to it, even though he was stretched, you feel a little more comfortable, like Chua shot. This one here. Oh, cue ball's going to have a lot of speed. So got to go a little bit still. He should be okay.
Watch the white.
Foul shots.
Well, that is a total clearance.
Ball in hand.
9-ball and cue ball into the pocket. And of course, when that happens,
Please start
it's
the
now
clock.
a formality who will win.
Yeah, and if you notice, he overcut it just a little bit to the pocket. That's why the cue ball opened up. Similar scratch that Albin had last year, and annoying when he made that combination and scratched. Really
Johann
turned
Chua
that match
wins the
around
rack.
with Jason Shaw.
So Julian Roper, our referee, announces the first rack falls to Johann Chua. Twists and turns already. On the neighbouring table, it looks as though Koping Chung will draw first blood. And when he gets on a heater, as he showed at the US Open last year, watch out.
Yeah, and he was on a heater for some spell. And the funny thing is, we were a little concerned about his game, and he really turned it around and had a wonderful year, and again, won that US Open. But had a lot of close matches here so far this week. Kind of quietly going about his business.
Yeah, that's it. He's just such a quiet fellow, but his disposition is very different when he's out there battling away. It's the Fuller's Junior Open final this evening. Max Benko and Luka Bagasi. Benko, well, if you're a junior, you can't be a veteran, but he's a veteran of being in these finals.
Yeah, he's been in a few, many different places. And tell you what, he's grown a bit as well.
Rack 2. Johann Chua to break. Leading by 1 rack to 0.
Yeah, again, missing the 1 in the side by some piece. Didn't really see that bad of a strike on the 1. Maybe a little different speed than we've seen most of the day, but that's going to be a little bit of a concern. Kind of like the T-ball in golf. The players really feed off the break. We're going to see a little bit of the tactical side of Alnar and Chua here with the push out coming.
Push out called.
By the way, that's Fuller's Junior Open final. Is a race to 9. Max Benko
Johann, it's
has
your
already
choice.
taken the opening rack from Luka Bagasi. And when we left it, he was nicely positioned to add the second.
Yeah, an odd shot here from distance. You know, you'd say to yourself, let me just bang the 1 away here and hold him behind the green 6, is it? But it's got to be well struck. Can't let up. Oh, beautiful hit. From distance, that's a nice one.
Well, the 1 pot's past the 3. Nothing simple here.
No, not at all. I mean, tough shot into a small pocket, even though he faces it pretty much head on. He's got to really manufacture a nice position play on the blue, too.
I think that qualifies, Jeremy. Cue ball with lots of topspin, compressing off that rail and coming to rest. Not bad at all.
No, he's trying to size up what the cue ball, what's his options with the cue ball. Can draw it. The 3's near
Extension
the pocket,
called.
but the 4 is difficult with the 8. I don't know if he can go with a high ball here and go to the bottom cushion and kind of use the 8 to stop the rock. It's not going to hurt, really. All right, he's got a path to pull this tight out of the upper left corner. A couple of rails falling softly off the 3rd rail, kind of where he's standing. And if I'm in Chua's corner, all I'd tell him is, if you like it, shoot at it. Because the more he knocks in a couple tough shots, it's like, you know, it's like Superman coming out of the phone booth. It seems like the cape's on and he's ready to go.
Yeah, as they say, he's a confidence monster, as he showed at the World Cup last year. It's difficult enough to dominate and excel in individual competition, but in that Scotch doubles format where you're only getting 1 shot every 2 to foster rhythm, mighty tough. He was on a different planet there. Okay, James Arenas was really solid and really helped out, but the lead Filipino on the way to glory was Chua.
Yeah, well, there's certain techniques, I think, that really play really well on the 4-inch pockets. And kind of like golf, they say a player has soft hands, you know, kind of around the green. And I think the same with Chua. We saw the pink 4 catch a little of the knuckle going in, but just the way he strikes the cue ball.
Did he sustain an injury there?
I don't know, maybe a cramp or something, maybe? Looked like he was trying to grab kind of his Achilles, really. Oh, that's way overhit. That's going to get on the rail, and this is going to get super tough. Surprised he didn't go with more of a high ball and kind of broaden the angle, going more towards the head string.
On the lip, refusing to drop. Christmas for Mustafa Alnar.
Mustafa Alnar wins the rack.
Just 1 ball potted, and that's all he needed, because it was the all-important Bumblebee, the 9, 1-1. Also 1-1 on table 1. Mickey Krause equalising against Ko Ping Chung. Don't know what was more painful, when he hopped around from the table there, or when he left the 9 over the pocket.
Yeah, and he was maybe a little cramp in the calf is all I can figure. But one of the most brutal shots in pool. It seems like when you're cutting it from behind, you catch that inner knuckle. It just wants to hang.
Sometimes when a snooker player has to drag their leg over a table to reach a shot, I have seen injuries that way. That was unusual, though. Nothing unusual about this. Mickey Krause, I think it's fair to say in 2024, he's come of age.
Yeah, and I mean, really, Josh Filler got to that final of the World Pool Masters. Of course, Federer course has been the best player, but if you really just go up and down the list of whatever the top 20, 25, tournament kind of in and out, Mickey's been one of the best all year.
Yeah. Rack 3, Mustafa Alnar to break. The match is tied, 1 rack each.
So Krause leading 2-1. That's what Alnar wants to be leading after this.
Yeah, very good connection with the rack, and he's going to get a great starter on the blue too. He's going to have to show us something as far as moving the cue ball. The 2 near the pocket, but the 3 got on the top rail. 4 back down. He's got some work here. So this should be top left spin. Trying to go 3 rails between a little traffic, but it is there. Yeah, kind of hooked on him. He was a little thick on it, so you almost have to smooth it around the table so the ball doesn't kind of hydraulic there. He's going to show us one heck of a kick shot.
It's the worst kind of hook, Jeremy. Self-imposed.
Absolutely, and you know why he's won some matches is attacking, but
Extension called.
Probably felt like he may not get there, but chances are didn't get snookered. Really, this is problems. I kind of like this route myself, 3 rails, but it's got to lengthen.
Foul shot. Ball in hand. Please start the clock.
And I'll tell you, I saw a little bit of a limp there from Johann when he got out of the chair. All right, wants a little bounce off this second rail.
Well, he's okay to a degree, but that's not what was intended.
No, and what happens is, you know, it's not so much about missing position. I mean, these guys can recover from a lot of places, but making those little strokes you're not so in love with can become a little mental.
I don't think he was sure about the 6. It was at very slow pace, and that helped facilitate the pot going in.
He's not hitting the center cut of the pocket. You saw Alnar kind of move when he saw that 6 going towards the hole. Thought it may have been a miss.
Surely Alnar will not be handed another gift, will he?
Johann
That
Chua
one was
wins the
never
round.
in any doubt whatsoever. Johann Chua regains the lead. It was 1-0 for him. Now it's 2-1. Welcome back to Fulda, to the Hotel Esperanto Conference Centre. And I can tell you on table one, we're seeing some really good pool from Mickey Kraus. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're confined to your seat and your opponent is breaking and running, with this winner breaks rule, you can spend an awful lot of time sitting down, seeing a match slip away. That was a break and run out from Kraus. He leads by 3 racks
Leading by
to
2
1.
racks to 1.
And he had plenty of break and run outs against Albin Auschen this afternoon.
Yeah, you just read my mind. I think he had 5 or 6 maybe in that match. All right, Chua with the ball down. I think the first of the match for him.
Kraus or Ko Ping Chung will play Skylar Woodward or Daniel Maciel in the semi-finals. The winner of this match will take on Shane Van Boning or Francisco Sanchez Ruiz.
Yeah, big shot. That's what this guy likes. Oh, that was clean. And that's what I mean. You know, he doesn't have to hit the pocket exactly pure, it seems like. He times it really well when he gets going and just seems to get a lot out of everything. Now it appears the 5 doesn't pass the 6. So it's going to be some type of short side position. Can he draw between the 9 and 5? Fortunate there. That's why you saw the raise of the hand. Came in a little tighter out of that corner, caught the 6. Unlikely not to get a shot, but he did fall with the perfect angle, or not too much angle, where it made position on the 7 any kind of problem. Should go to a cushion here, get a little bounce. Doesn't have to open the cue ball up and spin, really. Just straight high ball. Those cheers you're hearing as Mickey Kraus puts another one on his side, so 4 on the spin.
Chua missed a tough 9 ball in the second rack. Apart from that, he's looked really good.
Johann Chua wins the rack.
We must emphasise it's still early days in his match against Joshua Fuller this afternoon. Alnar faced an early 2-rack deficit, but right now Chua is looking the superior of the 2. And you heard the applause from the other side of the arena. This is why Mickey Kraus, as Jeremy said, just piling on the pressure.
Yeah, well, if you got to see the 3 ball he knocked in this rack to get the run started, it was a few safety exchanges from the players, but 3 out in the middle of the table, cue ball on the bottom rail, had to gain position with a lot of power. Hit it perfect like he has pretty much every ball today.
Mickey Kraus has always wanted it. I remember when he went over to the USA to try and improve his pool education, and it coincided with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, so he was really badly scuppered and very unfortunate. And maybe that put his career on hold for a while. We've been expecting him to make a breakthrough, and finally he's doing it.
Yeah, and it takes time. I mean,
Rack 5,
all these
Johann
guys are
Chua
pretty
to
much
break.
cold-blooded
Lead about
killers.
3
They're out
racks
there
to
to
1.
beat you, even though they're all colleagues. Does spend a lot of time in America, did do that. Actually spent a lot of time in the Philippines as well, trying to mature that game. All right, that's the break I think he should go with a little more speed. He has a shot on the blue too. I don't know if he had to spin it to get by the 8. I don't think so. I think so. Taking a little gamble to open the pink up. It was going to be a tough position play if he left the pink there. Maybe trying to go into the 9 or the 8.
In the match so far, Jeremy, he's had a few pieces of subtle positional luck. It's not been outrageous, not been obvious. There, though, not quite where he wanted to be. Not pinpoint, short.
Yeah, the proverbial 50 here. Good thing he's close to it, so you can usually manage. Gonna fall on the cushion. A little in between here. Can he easily go one rail, kind of just at the 6? That would give him that angle to get on the 7. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing, kind of a little stun. Oh, this one turned over on him. Became top English a little quickly. I think he did get a shot. No, he didn't.
You can't keep careering into balls and getting away with
Extension called.
No, I think he played it right. Maybe needed a little more elevation on the cue. I think it's just a sliver. You can see why he's going with the full cue so he can draw over. This is going to end up on the rail. Alnar maybe can play a bank shot. Obviously, there's some safeties, and that's one thing I've been really impressed by. All the Turkish players I've seen, you know, their safety play has been really on point.
Extension called.
Mickey Krause on another break and run. He's got a tough 8-ball, though.
There's nothing tough for Krause right now. The 8 went in, soon to be followed by the 9. Wow.
We've been commenting all week that we haven't seen that many break and runs in comparison to past tournaments. Maybe they've been saved for the final 2 days. Tell you what, as far as getting comfortable in this match, kind of feel like this is a huge shot. Knocks this in and gets out. Chua could really kind of get on one. Wow.
We've seen it time and time again into that pocket. In fact, Alnar was a victim of that pocket and that far jaw early on against Fulda this afternoon. They will not fall.
A little awkward on the position. If he's got to go rail first, he's got to get the speed right. This may open up for some kind of look at the 8, but certainly not what he wanted. And that's what I saw a couple times, right? The slick table was a little different than the outer one, and it takes a little experience to get used to it. Now, he got enough to play a safety, though, it looks like. Just wants to knock the 8 2 cushions to where he's standing, holding the cue ball behind the 9. Oh, he went for the bank.
His game plan, not exactly orthodox. It wasn't against Fulda. Now you see there, in many respects, Chua missed the 8 ball by more than the 7 before it, but he caught the near jaw and went in.
Yeah, a little slide on the ball. And
Johann Chua wins the rack.
again, that stroke kind of opens that pocket up, I think. But yeah, if he breaks and gets a shot here, this could get out of hand quickly, Phil.
If you're wondering why you can hear applause all around this Hotel Esperanto Conference Centre arena, the crowd aren't being disrespectful. They're not applauding missed shots. It's because we've got the Fulda's Junior Final on one table, where Luga Bagazi is taking on Max Benko.
Yeah, that one wasn't the best contact on the one, but at the moment, these dry breaks really haven't cost him.
Yeah, it's the polar opposite so far of this afternoon for Alnar. Then things were going his way. This time, he's not having the best of run at all. But for Mickey Kraus, it's all milk and honey. 6-1 over US Open champion Ko Ping Chung.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get a highlight or look at that rack, but Mickey made a cross corner bank on the 3. He made a kiss shot, playing the pink off the 7, running it down the rail in the pocket. Beautiful 5 ball on the side. He's just really doing it all.
Extension called.
Yeah, I think I go for the 2 ball here, trying to get the cue ball behind the 2, cutting the 1 just a little past the side. He's cueing down, though. Maybe going for the bank. Oh.
Foul shot.
And the reason why I didn't mind going for the shot I was talking about, even if he didn't
Ball
get
in
the
hand.
snooker, I just kind of feel like Alnar is struggling
Please
at the
start the
moment.
clock.
So I hate to give him an easy starter. Now, I didn't imagine ball in hand, of course, but you know, let the guy get some strokes in, right? Get some time at the table. Just like any player, they become a lot more difficult to play.
Yeah, the fact remains he's not potted an awful lot of balls. He won the first rack. The only rack he's managed when Chua left the 9 ball smack over the pocket. That was rack 2 as Alnar equalised. Since then, 3 on the trot for his Filipino opponent.
Yeah, he's got to go into the 9 here, so watch out getting elevated over the 6. Okay, got away from the green 6. Yeah, that 9 ball he scratched on in the first game when he overcut it just a little bit. Got a gift in return in game number 2. You could hear a little upset noise from Alnar there, overrunning his mark. But that's been the theme this week. The tables have played a bit faster.
Yes, and that was apparent right from the very first match, wasn't it, on Tuesday morning? We just knew.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, you could watch from the lags. There were so many overhit lags, it seemed like. It's just been really, really awesome weather here this week and an incredible venue. It's kept the climate very dry here in the venue. He's going to have to shoot the 7 from a little more distance. Oh, he held that nicely.
He did miss a shot similar to this, though, early doors against Fulda. That one was centre cut.
Yeah, nice for him, Alnar, to be able to get another rack on his side, especially going into the ad break. Can sit there with a little bit of confidence.
He was 4-2 down to Fulda and won. The 9-ball here to be 4-2 down and with renewed hope against Chua. And that is what has transpired. Do not write off this underdog, this 50-1 outsider when the day began. Tell you what, he's not 50-1 now. Quarter-final evening at the European Open. We thought that Mickey Kraus was going to take a 7-1 lead over Ko Ping Chung. He had the opportunity, but he missed a 7-ball. Oohs and ahs around this crowd. And of course, then Ko stepped in. It's still a crisis for him, but he's capable of turning that around. We saw that this afternoon. Daniel Massiol 7-1 down in a race to 10 against Dennis Grabber, and he grabbed the verdict. Oh, I thought for one awful moment the cue ball was going to go into the centre pocket. After a break like that, it would have been a shame. Queuing over the back of a pocket though, and a thin cut on the 2. Not an enviable shot, this.
Well, similar to that shot, at least the quality of it that he opened this match with on that tough 1-ball. But now he did draw position, so. See how that scratch on that bank from Chua at 4-1 really would have cost him.
The 5 and the 7 already disappeared. Oh, and maybe his chances are disappearing. That was a poor one.
Yeah, it looked like he kind of adjusted a little bit when down on the ball. Something you kind of preach not to do. Couldn't say that for sure, but really didn't expect that miss. Not sure he will go for the cut shot. I think he's going to go for a thin one. That was thick as well.
As the cue ball was coming around the table, Chua was hoping against hope that the green 6 ball might come to his assistance. It did not. And have we seen a turning point, you know, over on table 1, because Koping Chung has 8 in 9 to shrink that gap to 6-3.
Yeah, and it was really about Koping Chung getting a chance to win a game. It seems like that table's breaking very well. And we know he can break the balls. Oh, nice recovery there. I say recovery, but after that miss on the pink a moment ago, cue ball didn't come as free as he had liked. Dowdy attacks here. Little awkward cueing to want to go for the bank. It's probably going to be a little chip on the 6 and run the cue ball either behind the 8-9 or put the 6 behind the 8-9 and go up table. Kind of like this one better because you don't leave as much as that kick and stick as we see so often. Looks like perfect speed. Really good. Now here, if he's snookered, he'll want to kick to the top cushion. Take a chance at maybe making it. Can he see this ball? I didn't think so.
Extension call.
What you want on this shot is you want to, of course, continue down the table with the cue ball, trying to get to this bottom rail. Just take your chances. The 6 gets in somewhat of a difficult position.
Collectively, the Filipinos known as world-class kickers. Fortune attached there, though.
Yeah, I thought he hit a little light, really, but it's a little light as well. Okay, you just have to chip this off the left side and come right off the side cushion, trying to get the cue ball back in somewhat the position it's in now. Being on the rail, I really don't like the right side of the 6. I like the left side of the 6 much better.
Well, in a spirit of fairness, I'm really glad the cue ball came to rest for shape on the 8, because that was the best pot of the match so far by a mile.
One of the best ones we've seen all week. He's got to make another one here. That looks good.
The 6,
Johann Chua wins
reminiscent of the inspirational stuff that was on display from Johann Chua when he led the Philippines to the World Cup in Lugo, Spain last year. Over on the other side of this arena, on table 2, Max Benko leads Luka Bogarski 4-3. The Fillers Junior Final, first prize $2,500 US. that was a little loose, wasn't it? Quite a quick stroke. Now this is the tail of the tape so far, and surprisingly, pot success rate only 89% for Chua, even though I think he's played pretty well. 84% for Alnar. That will not cut the mustard.
Yeah, the long pot success kind of so-so. Decent at almost 80% for Chua. A few safety errors from Alnar that we did not see before. But I'd look for them both to improve.
Yeah.
Well, Alnar most certainly needs
Rack
to.
8, Johann Chua to break, leading by 5 racks to 2.
Chua halfway towards a place in the last 4.
The 2's going to come up enough for a cut shot. We know doesn't take much for Chua to want to cut at him anyways. A little awkward cueing over the pink. So if he has to add any side spin to this shot, especially kind of rolling the ball, it becomes a hair missable.
There's a stirring in the crowd because the revival of Koping Chung was only a mini revival. It's now 7-3 to Mickey Kraus.
Yeah. Chung broke and made a ball, made a nice shot on the 2. It was difficult on the 3, and he hung it. That's going to get a nice bounce. Does have an angle. Now, does he try to lay up with that heavy angle on the left side of the table, or does he come across? Maybe have to flirt with the purple 5 a bit. Yeah, he's digging, so he's trying to kill it up by the 8 ball. Mickey, the way he breaks the balls, it just reminds me of that run that FSR had for some 18 months or so.
Well, Denmark, quite a small population, punches above its weight in many individual sports. Golf, at the moment, most certainly springs to mind with the likes of the Højgaard twins, who are outstanding talents and with the world at their feet.
Yeah, both them guys, I kind of kept track of them a little last year and this year, but trying to think of the best player from Denmark playing pool prior to Mickey Kraus. Maybe Peter Nielsen, maybe? Pretty darn good player back in the day. Got a little flatter than he wanted. Just going to have to make him work the cue ball a bit more.
He's not been mistake-free, Chua, but he's been pretty solid.
Yeah, and I don't even think he's totally comfortable yet. I mean, you can see a little body movement there. Again, maybe playing a hair faster than what we're used to. The shot clock's in place. But our U.S. Open champion's in real trouble over here. He just fouled on a pretty open shot. Mickey Kraus with ball in hand.
And I think it's fair to say that Mustafa Alnar's in trouble. 6-2 down to a player who seems to be getting better with each match in the tournament. Now we get to see the chance of Mickey Kraus when he was in the 10th rack, looking to arrest that mini surge of Koping Chung. The way he's playing, it would have been highly surprising had he mess this one up.
Yeah, well, you've been around all kinds of cue sports, Phil, and he just hits the ball really crisp. Very good ball striker.
Yeah, very distinctive out there. Often wears that white shirt and the black trousers with the ponytail, all tied up. He is quickly morphing from prospect to serious contender.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very sincere earlier in the opening. You know, if he doesn't make it off points, which I think he probably will, the way he's playing and tournament, you know, one tournament after another.
Rack 9, Johann Chua to break, leading by 6 racks to 2.
But I mean, he's going to make Jason Shaw think for sure, and whoever that captain is for Team Europe in the Reyes Cup. He's definitely improving in this department.
Yeah, Chua will be at the Reyes Cup, representing Asia. And he could well be a handful in front of home support.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that unfold. You know, Kachi said in the interview that, again, Team Europe, and it could be a little bit different team, we'll see, but Team Europe has had a lot of experience in Moscone, and you know, there's going to be a lot of pressure for Team Asia to perform so well there, of course, right there in Manila, the inaugural Moscone Cup. But I think the fans are going to be a big home court advantage for Team Asia. That's got to go a little bit. Pretty good.
I think Europe are at a distinct advantage with the Moscone Cup. When you think about it, the captain of the Reyes Cup might want to give Mickey Krause a run out there to see how he fares in that team environment.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. I don't know if the timing is going to work out for that or not. You know, I think it probably will, but not 100% because I think the third guarantee comes after Hanoi. And they usually do the next picks within a week's time or so. But yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with getting a little extra information before you have to make a pick. And real life information as well. It's not a simulation that Reyes Cup is going to be nuts.
Well, they always say the Moscone Cup is a Ryder Cup style event, and Europe utilised the old Sevi Trophy really well. Way back, blooding players who they thought might make the Ryder Cup eventually and seeing how they fitted in.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? Okay, it's perfect here to come up the right side to play the 6 in the lower left. I think Chua's only played one match on this table this week. Is that right? Was it Jason Shaw? Who was it? My mind's leaving me for a moment. No, it wasn't Shaw. I think he did play one match on the TV table.
Well, I certainly haven't commentated on him yet. So if he has, it is just the single match. Maybe not at all.
Yeah, I think maybe now I'm wrong. It was table 1. He's played a couple matches. Okay, he's pretty perfect here. Just got to get into the cue ball a little bit.
The composer Johann Strauss was famous for his waltzes. It appears as though Johann Chua is waltzing towards victory.
Johann Chua wins the rack.
How can you have any other impression? He leads by 7 racks to 2. The giant killer from this afternoon, at the moment, being humbled. Mickey Kraus was pegged back to 7-4 against Ko Ping Chung. But look at these 2 balls. Easy peasy for someone like him, for someone with his level of self-belief. It's never been higher. Earlier this year, he won the Mez Bucharest Open in Romania. He might be confining Ko Ping Chung to a rest. 8-4, that means Kraus needs only 2 more to go through. What a day that would be. What a day's work beating Albert Auschen and then Ko Ping Chung. Just waiting for Mustafa Alnar to come back into the main arena. Can't tell you, the Fulda's Junior Open final, really keenly contested. It was 4-4. Max Benko has just regained a 5-4 lead over Luka Bogarski. Remember, in the junior final, the target is 9 racks. There's another snippet of what's going on. Oh, not happy with that positional shot, because the 5 over the pocket, it was one of those anywhere but there shots.
Again, the fast tables. Even the juniors having a few issues, but you got to be impressed the way these juniors have evolved since all these events have come out. Get highly motivated. Is he going after the 9 here? Just trying to move the cue ball over. Smart shot.
Yep.
It's a series of junior events introduced by Emily
Rack
Fraser.
10. Johann Chua to break.
It's a brilliant
Leader by 7 racks to 2.
innovation. We have the Shane Van Boning Junior Open at the US Open. We have the Jason Shaw Junior Open at the UK Open. Others as well.
Again, not the best sound as far as the connection on the rack. So Alnar's got to get it going. Got an open look. Didn't miss the one by much, though. Now, it looks like he's got to go forward. Probably going to contact some of the 9. He needs some speed here. May be able to smooth it up the left side and get that gap between the pink and the green 6 without contacting the 9. We'll see. Well, you got to be impressed there from Mustafa. Great shot from distance. And it with a confident stroke, and really hadn't got to put many balls in the last few games. You got to feel this is a must. hit a 3-ball, got elevated on the 4 to get to the hill with another break and run. Missed the 4, so Ko Ping Chung's got another chance. Speaking of chances, these lay as nice as they have for Alnar in this match.
Yes, and in terms of building rhythm, running out a couple of racks, nothing better. Not had a great amount of quality table time in this match yet, but there is time to turn the match on its head.
Yeah, when he shot the purple before the 6, I thought he may go into the 8, just lightly bump it a little bit with the 6 hanging over the side. He's got to play with a nice angle to get from the 8 to the 9. Shouldn't be a problem. Could have made it a hair easier. Didn't seem too happy. I thought he hit it perfect here, this 7 for position on the 8.
That was
Mustafa Alnar wins the
much
rack.
needed. Johann Chua 7-3 now. Let's quickly go over to table 1, as Jeremy described. Kraus missing the 4-ball. It does not pay to allow Ko Ping Chung off the hook. Especially, Jeremy, in the winner breaks format.
Yeah, well, we've all seen what he did towards the end of the U.S. Open last year, but undoubtedly you usually have to make some type of comeback in those types of events. And Mickey's obviously been the class so far in this match, but Ko Ping Chung, he's not quitting.
So important for Ko to keep Kraus off the hill. So from here, Ko needs to win 5-1. Well within his capabilities. Just a reminder what's coming up a little later on the main table. It's a meeting of giants, a clash of the titans. Two men of letters, FSR and SVB.
Rack 11, Mustafa Alnar to break, trailing by 7 racks to 3.
Yeah, the 2 is the opposite spin that he needs to really get a shot. Does have a look though, so should gain control.
Superb crowds in today. In fact, throughout the week.
Not quite enough on the cue ball. He hasn't left anything easy, but felt like he should have gained a snooker of some sort. He's really got to ease this kind of to come across and hold position. Mickey Kraus knocked in a very, very difficult 2-ball after a missed 2 from Ko Ping Chung. So another chance to get on the hill for Kraus. He's got to clear the table. That was always going to be difficult.
the two in open play. I suppose from Alnar's perspective, it could have finished worse. Certainly in terms of Chua positionally.
Yeah, Chua gets so much out of the cue ball, though. I think he can pull this softly and still hold behind the pink for the shot on the 3. Maybe make the pocket a little bigger as well.
Right again, Jeremy.
Difficult out. He'd love to be able to get on this 4-9 combination, but I think the 6 and the 8 are really impeding that cue ball movement. So he's got to make a difficult clearance here. 3, 4, 5, not too much of a problem, but you can see he's got to get on the 6 nice to get on the 7, back on the 8. He's a little off angle here on the pink. Kraus missed the 7 in the last game to get on the hill. Missed the 8 in this game to get on the hill. Ko Ping Chung.
Extension called.
Still got a heartbeat left in that match.
2 for the price of 1. If this goes in, Kraus could be feeling hot under the collar, but instead Ko Ping Chung jaws it.
Yeah, Chua's got to command a 2-rail speed that has been difficult, or is difficult, and wouldn't be easy on this fast table. Looks like he's done real well.
Now that tells us the 8-ball missed by Kraus. That tells us he's starting to feel it. That was a ball he would normally knock in without hesitation or fuss. And don't think Ko Ping Chung hasn't picked up on that.
Yeah, absolutely, but you can kind of feel that Ko Ping Chung is feeling it also. Mickey Kraus keeping the heat on, but let another escape.
How many times have we seen that? It always seems to be the 7-ball as well, playing with power, drawing in one of those pockets at that end of the table.
Yeah, he kind of misplayed a rail first earlier. Same kind of shot, even coming off the right side. He needs a thin hit. Yeah, you see how he caught it thick and the ball kind of hydraulics? Got to learn to come down the table a little smoother. I don't know, he may go into the 9 here. Not the type of shot you want to add side spin, really, especially going up and down the table.
Extension called.
Just can't afford to miss them. You just cannot afford to miss them. Especially when you stick them.
Yeah, and he did put inside spin on that cue ball. That was surprising. Just got a little quick with it and caught a little too much deflection with the right spin, overcut the 8. And she was going to get to her 2 games away from that semifinal.
Johann Chua wins the rack.
It was easy to get giddy this afternoon when Mustafa Alnar defeated Joshua Fulda for the 2nd time in the tournament. Yes, he got the result, but the performance left much to be desired. And this evening, he's also been guilty of mistakes, plenty of them. As for table 1, what a critical rack this is.
Extension called.
Yeah.
Remember, Kraus at his zenith led 6-1, and then, would you believe it?
And now scratch as well.
Foul shot.
So it's kind of like it's been incredible pool, but then some mistakes you just couldn't imagine at the same time. I tell you, if Kraus, I know Mickey all right, but I wouldn't say we're best friends by any means, but I really do like the guy, but I think he needs to maybe step away for a moment if he gets a chance.
Rack 12, Johann Chua to break. Lead about 8 racks to 3.
One of those special nights where you don't know where to look. A crunching break would come in useful for Johann Chua. The one's in, but the two is not cooperating.
Ping Chung got a little straight here. He may have to draw back and take a thin cut or
out
go
called.
forward to short side.
Mustafa, it's your choice.
Chua pushes out. I think he might get this one back.
Yeah, did freeze him on the rail, which I think you always want to do, or at least most of the time on the push out. Quite a wall of balls to go behind on the left side of the table with the 6, 9, and 5. Wow, he
Foul
miscued?
shot.
He must have miscued. Yeah, he's looking at his
Ball
tip.
in hand.
Well,
Please start
Chua's
the clock.
calculation paid off. What a strange affair that was.
Yeah, probably adding a hair right English and just slid off his tip.
Extension called.
Yeah, so from 6-1 to 8-7 now in our other quarterfinal match that's in progress. Chua is perfect. Little 2 rails directly at the purple. You wanted to get straight where he could just stop. Now, does he have to go on the 9? Does he have to play kind of a thin cut on the 6? Ko Ping Chung with a very good break off and a very nice shot on the blue too. I like this shot much better than trying to play from below the 9.
Doing nothing outlandish. But that Came out of the blue.
Yeah, I mean, not saying he's supposed to miss it, but I thought he'd do a little more on the 7, to be fair. That pocket has been pretty greedy, but that one was on Johann. Hasn't left anything easy, especially considering Alnar's had some troubles. He's drawn this ball. Great shot.
On table one, a quarter-final is in the process of turning around. Is this one going to turn? Do not write off Mustafa Alnar. Fulda is surrounded by rolling hillsides, and now on the hill is Mickey Kraus after that miss from Ko Ping Chung. Both falling victim to the rising tension in the last few racks. Both players have been guilty of mistakes you don't normally see from them. Kraus using the looped bridge. Buries the 7. That was sweet. Still though, pressure on every single ball. Especially for someone who's never been in this position before in a major World 9-Ball Tour ranking event. That was just a few minutes ago. Mickey Kraus reaching the hill at 9-7, and this is live. Kraus at the table again. Is this the chance to bury it?
Oh, that was a sweet strike, I'll tell you. Just perfect timing. Fall hair behind this. Should be okay though.
Looks as though he staved off that recovery from Ko Ping Chung. Ko can now turn his attention to defending his US Open title. And that's because yes, indeed, the man from Denmark has brought home the bacon.
Yeah, he sure has, and he's been the player of the day, really. Could have won that match pretty convincingly as well, let a few get away, but he's going to sleep well tonight, knowing he's in to that final 4.
First, he beat Albin Auschen by 10 racks to 2. Then Ko Ping Chung was put to the sword. Mickey Kraus is the first player into the semi-finals of the European Open. And I think what he's doing here just shows the value of consistent competition in smaller World 9-Ball Tour ranking events.
Yeah, well, he had a good UK Open as well. Not anything like what he's
Quiet
had
as
here
possible,
so far,
please.
but But yeah, you can't replace those matches. You just see more balls go in. You get in situations, get to learn a little bit without even realizing it. Just get yourself in a happy place, confident man at the moment.
Yeah, you just sharpen up competitively, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, can hold position here easily. I don't know if the 2 passes the 5. He played inside English, so he's going to play for the 2 in the lower left. Real nice play. I don't know if he can draw back for the 3 in the side. I don't know what the draw angle looks like. Pretty heavy here on the blue 2, so good chance he can get on the 3 in the side. That's what he'd like.
With the 7 and 9 in mid-table providing potential blockers, you would think the big shot would be 4 to 5. If that problem is resolved, then it should be plain sailing.
Yeah, he's got to avoid the 7 if he's going to come back with the cue ball. I thought he could just kind of roll the 4 in and take a little cut on the 5 with the 6 over the pocket. But he's going to come out, so that means the 5's a little further away than I thought. Like I say, he's got to avoid the 7. Very well done.
We thought it was done and dusted in the previous rack, and Chua missed an 8 ball.
Extension called.
Just a little less than medium draw stroke. Just a little hair off angle here, I think, to where he can't easily draw, so he's got to power up a touch, go the rail with some heavy stun.
This easier, the 8, than in the previous rack. That wasn't too difficult. This should be a formality.
Yeah, it was fairly straight, so he got a little bit out of the cue ball.
Johann Chua wins the
Johann
rack.
Chua on the hill at 9-4 now. I believe Abigail is with our dashing Dane, man of the moment, Mickey Krause.
Yes, indeed. Mickey Krause, the first player through to tomorrow's semi-finals. How pleased are you with the way that you're playing at the moment? Because Albin Ocean this afternoon, and the way you've just backed that up, you must be feeling very confident indeed.
Yeah, 100%. My break is working really well, and also, I mean, I've been playing Ko Ping Chong a couple of times, and I just didn't get him, and this time I'm just really happy I got through.
And it's felt for some time now in these major events that you've been on the verge of a real breakthrough. Does it feel like that's going to be this weekend?
Well, I'm just gonna go from one match to the other. I don't want to say anything too soon, you know.
And you recently won the Bucharest Open. That must fill you with confidence as well, coming here with that form.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little while ago now because there was like a little break in between. But 100%, I felt really good after that. And it's my first like title really, so I'm happy really.
And of course, you still get to find out who your opponent will be tomorrow. It will be either SVB or FSR. Are you going to stick around to watch that one, find out who you're playing?
I think I'm just gonna practice, to be honest.
That's a very, very good plan. Let's get back then to this quarterfinal.
And I noticed between matches this afternoon, after beating Auschen so comprehensively, Mickey Krause was found on the practice table
Johann
then.
Chua to break, leaded by next racks to 4 on the hill.
Maybe we should be calling him the dedicated Dane, because he most certainly is.
Absolutely. Has spent a lot of time in his young life trying to master this game, and he's on his way. Well, he really unloaded on that one. The hardest he's hit the entire time. A little kick on the 9. Wow.
This afternoon, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz completed victory with a golden break. I thought we were going to see an action replay. That was millimetres away.
Yeah, and now Alnar, you got to believe, is going to chase that 9 ball with the cue ball off the right side of the 1. Why not?
Any contact would have done any kind of nudge.
Really kind of hard. Wow, it did get a nudge. Just came off that second cushion. Just rocked it a hair.
Extension called.
Yeah, it needed the nudge on the way there, not on the way back.
Johann made a similar shot early in the match on the 1. Almost identical, really.
The World Cup wonder, now showing it as an individual.
Yeah, you'd like to get an early combination, but from the layout I see, it's going to be an 8-9 to get him to the semifinal. Oh, did he expect to go into the 8? Does he not see the 3? I'm not sure. I don't think he saw the 3 was on the bottom rail. He's got to lock him up here. Well,
So he's saying, Jeremy, that was a brain freeze.
I think so. Look how narrowly he missed the 9. Looked like he couldn't fit a playing card between the 9 and the cue ball. Little surprised he didn't play safe behind those 2 balls that was near the 3. Now those have gotten rearranged.
All growing a little ragged now, isn't it? He was watching the replay there, and what happens in replays is that it shows what's happened originally. There is no change in the script.
And I don't think he's grimacing really about the missed 9. You know, not there at the end of that replay or what we saw. What a hit there. To hit it so delicate from distance, elevated with the cue, that's shows you the talent. Now he's got a little angle to stun over. Now don't miss this 4, trying to get too good on this 5-9. You can make it from almost anywhere underneath the purple.
His first title of note. was an event sponsored by Manny Pacquiao. I think Johann Chua here in for the knockout blow.
Johann Chua.
Yes,
wins the
Mustafa
match.
Alnar counted out. It's 10-4 to Johann Chua into the semi-finals. The Filipino with a big smile on his face, and there with his partner from the World Cup last year and his great friend James Arenas. Chua 10-4, Alnar, the great giant killer of the tournament, who's twice beaten Joshua Filler, including earlier today. I'm afraid he turned up tonight and just did not have the magic. Chua, though, with that 5-9 combination, advances. 10-4, Roger over and out for Turkey's Mustafa Alnar, but not before providing quite a storyline. That's the reaction from Johann Chua into the semi-finals of the European Open.